Oh, JD, how are you? I don't
Hey,
think
I'm
we're live
good.
yet. We just had another, like we had like a training webinar. Christian, we're not live yet, are we?
We are live, yes.
Oh, whoops. Well, hello everyone. We got we got JD joining us. JD, you look like you're in a sunny, great place. Where are you at? What are you doing?
I am in Tucson, Arizona. Beautiful, sunny Tucson.
Look at you. Sunny. It's over here sunny in Florida too. And JD, you sent some cool pictures. What are you what have you been getting
Yeah,
into?
so I live in the frozen tundra. My mother is here in Tucson, and I took a road trip with my lovely youngest daughter, driving from Minneapolis. Uh, Amazing, amazing sights, especially when you get to Colorado and drive through the mountains. We stopped in Glenwood Springs, enjoyed the hot springs there, and
Mm.
then we stopped in Zion National Park,
Ah, very cool.
which was very, very cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
been there before. Very, very beautiful there. And now you're back in the markets.
I never, I'm in bed. I mentioned this to my podcast co-host yesterday that, I'm ashamed to admit that while I was driving from Glenwood Springs to Zion, number one, I didn't realize Mormons like to drive fast. The speed limit there is 80 miles per hour.
I did not know that either. Well, it explains a little bit because I watched that Mormon TV show, uh,
Okay.
Mormon Wives, I think it's called,
Okay.
and I think they're in Salt Lake City, Utah, and apparently one of the gals from there was going to be the Bachelorette
Oh, really?
on, like ABC or I
Yeah.
think it's still on that
Oh,
network.
yeah.
And then I guess they filmed it. I guess she got engaged on the show or was going to. And then they found out she was a little bit of we'll say a demon. And they had to cancel the show. It was not a very good Mormon woman, we'll say. And yeah.
Well,
So,
and that's
yeah.
that's shocking because that Bachelorette show likes to push the envelope. So if she was way beyond the envelope, that it must have been really something.
Yeah, I guess like a video got surfaced of her throwing a chair on her husband, and
Oh
I think
boy.
she thought she was a WWE wrestler gal apparently, and once that got out, it cut. So
Oh yeah.
the maybe too much caffeine in the Coke over there. Not the coffee. You can't drink coffee apparently. But JD, look, for the new people uh, out there, because we have a lot of people in the chat, and thank you all so much. Yes, see Michael, Mark Bodine. George, yeah, Nokia is catching a bit here. Andrew, Anna, Susie, Robert. Why don't you give us like a quick rundown. Josiah was telling me a little bit about your background. I know you're 35 years in the market. Give us a little bit of your background
Yeah. Yeah.
and how you
Well,
got
I
involved.
we only have 15 minutes, so I could go on for hours. So I'll spare you many of the details, but I broke into the business, Lance, taking my Series 7 examination on Saturday, October 17th, 1987, and
Ah,
that uh, that 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 taught me about volatility really quickly.
now let me ask you, did you become a perma bear at a young age? Or were you, because a lot of these younger guys now who get in, I had a lot of buddies get into finance post-COVID and thought everything was sunshine and roses. And I know there's a lot of young guys, even the company where they think stocks go up to the moon. Did that jade you into becoming a closet bear, even a perma bear, after getting that kind of you know
Right.
taste of the appetizer of the bear market?
Great question, and the answer would be no. And maybe I should have had some of that skepticism rub off on me. But I kind of followed the traditional Wall Street path, Lance. I went into investment banking first, and then I found my way to graduate school and really stumbled into the equity side of the business. And this is a good, I guess, segue into what I'm doing today. My mentor in this business started a publishing an investment newsletter in the early 1980s, and obviously those were different times.
Oh yeah.
But the name of his letter was called the Pinch Penny Press,
Hmm.
and he was a guy, a value manager, a stock guy, uh, and so I kind of follow the more traditional fundamental value metrics and what have you. But he was a guy that would drive around the street, to find a penny discount on, gas, right?
Oh
uh,
wow.
and that's appropriate today, isn't it? With gas prices now, what, approaching $5 or $4 per gallon?
You're exactly with diesel. And here in Florida is over $5. I just filled up the tractor and I was like, holy mackerel. This is insane. So you
You
got
know,
started value investing, and I understand now um, you're known as one of the best stock pickers out there.
Well, I do like to pick stocks. I'm humbled by what you just said, so I don't know how to respond to it. But I follow a very simple strategy. I love statistics and mathematics, and maybe you're similar. I don't know a lot about how you go about things. Watch from afar some of the work that you do, Lance, and it seems like you're similar in that you like to place trades when the odds are in your favor.
That I do, and I've been known to gamble or two when the risk versus reward is not in my favor, but the reward is a good shot to, nothing wrong with a little
Are
lotto
you a
ticket.
poker player, Lance?
Yes, yes. And I did that in high school. And then the Full Tilt Poker Stars crash happened.
Ah,
When I got
you
in,
were you were a moneymaker guy.
you're right. I got in during the Moneymaker, Greg Fossil Man, he was known. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Jimmy Farhall, Phil Hellmuth, Phil Ivey, Negrano, all them. So that's again, I didn't have money in high school. But I put $50 games, $100 games, and then sneaking into the casinos at 16 and playing tables because I was able to cross my ID the the year to where it was like you couldn't tell, so it looked like I was 2 years older. So when I was
Okay.
16, I was 18 according to them. So that's where I would, spend my time. Great, nothing like cigarettes and playing a little cards at a 16-year-old, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I grew up at the poker table, just, the neighborhood poker game. You'd play until the birds started singing.
I would play till I either ran out of money or ran out of cigarettes or the cafeteria place would close because I was always hungry back then, and also too usually when you're that age you don't have a lot of resources, but every time I would it was definitely a hustler mentality, and I think that carried over to finance for sure. um,
Well, there are a lot of similarities. If you
oh
get good at
yes.
poker, you're going to be a really good trader, I believe.
And you get good at losing. You know, you whether you have seven deuce or pocket kings, you understand, hey, if the risk is there, play it. If it's not, don't. But
Oh
you
yeah.
also realize sometimes you have pocket kings and an ace comes on the flop. Sometimes you're just dead in the water.
Oh, absolutely. That's a great point, Lance. You can sometimes the best lessons are the hardest lessons, and you're gonna lose poker hands without a doubt. But boy, if you get adept at putting your money in when the odds are in your favor, over time, you know, the odds don't lie.
That's the one thing. The numbers do not lie. That's definitely the key, JD, out there. And I know, JD, we don't have a ton of time today, but I do know you're going to be joining us a few more times, going over. I know you something you've been working on in the option market. Can you just share a little bit of details, maybe a sneak preview, sneak peek of what you've been cooking?
Sure, would love to. And back to the pinch penny press, who couldn't use a couple shekels every now and then to put into your trading account from time to time, the option market affords you the opportunity to do that with very simple credit spreads that can be executed. Again, what I structured here was a program that puts the odds in, again, putting the odds in your favor, where, it's not a lot of cash and we're not looking to get rich here, but a couple $100, $300, $400, and time again, that can add up into a pretty significant amount. And when the odds are in your favor, we've been testing this strategy since late November, and we're darn near 90% win
Wow.
rate. And so like all systems, no system's perfect, so we will have losers here. But for the most part, I mean, heck, I've been giving away these trades on my Telegram channel, Lance, and yesterday, we did a trade on Newmont Mining, where we could, if you look at a chart of Newmont Mining, you'll see the stocks trading what I call two standard deviations below the mean. And that is a trigger for these credit spread trades that we can write a credit spread on an option that expires very quickly, right?
Hmm.
We're not holding these until, for a long period of time. I'm targeting an option that expires on a Friday. Okay. So we sold a little credit spread way, way below two standard deviations below the mean. And because I believe in the odds and reversion to the mean, uh, this trade will put $220 in our pockets by the end of the week.
Very nice. I love it. And I'm actually yesterday I got bullish on gold and silver miners because of lower energy prices, more profit margin for the miners out there. So
You know
I
what's
I,
fascinating,
I like
Lance,
it.
is that we can there all of us that are under the Prosperity Pub umbrella, we come at things differently, from different angles, and we it's fascinating to me. A lot of times we end up at the same exact spot.
Yep. Yeah, I've noticed that too. It's pretty wild, and it's I think it's a fabulous, fantastic thing. So that was just and JD, you're doing it in Newmont, and like you said, it expires what this Friday
Yeah,
too?
we just a March 27th expiration. We sold a put option at 93. We bought back the 88 strike. That's our risk. If Newmont plunges below our strike, we're going to have to surrender that credit. But if it expires worthless, it's $220 in our pocket.
Yep, that's fabulous, fabulous out there. I mean, you basically need a 10% drop or something, which you probably have like a what, a 5% chance of that happening. So
And
that's why you love it.
you're using the odds there, and
Yeah.
this environment with the volatility index, pretty high. It can be a little unnerving for some folks, and that's why I like to rely on, this model that we're using is based on a statistical truth that was developed some 200 years ago, and applies to a lot of different things, including it's your standard bell curve basically, and uh, trusting that we call it true north. Every stock has a true north, And I believe Newmont Mining's True North is way above that $93 strike price that we sold the put option on.
Oh yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, JD, thank you so much for coming. I know you're going to be sharing more and more details over these next couple of weeks together and joining us, and we'll give a little bit more insight and details to what you got cooking up like you do in Newmont Mining, which big gold and silver bull here myself. So everyone, give a big shout out to JD. I know he's got a Telegram channel. Christian, do we have a link or anything to send the chat for JD's Telegram or anything like that yet, or is that later in the week?
Yeah, I have a sign up link in the chat right now. It's pinned up at the top
Oh,
and at the
perfect.
bottom. So if you guys want to sign up for JD's new briefing on his trading breakthrough, then go ahead and click that link.
Oh, amazing. Oh yeah, I see it now. Pretty
And
cool.
Lance, when I join you next time, I want to know more about that wonderful display you have behind you.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, you know what the best investment has been? It's been these Pokemon cards and
That's awesome.
cards. It's been the best investment. You, I can't tell you how many names have doubled. Like, I'll buy a card for 4 grand, I'll sell it for 8 grand two weeks later. Like, I wish I spent tons of money on all of it, years ago. But that's the craziest market. It makes the
Well,
stock market look
it's
like
ironic because we all are trading and focus on such a short period of time, but it's a great lesson for buy and hold, right? You hold those cards. You know, one of I kick myself every day. I tell this story, but back when I was in high school, I had a Mickey Mantle baseball card,
oof. Yeah.
and
Well,
and
did you
and
have the what is it? The tops one that's super expensive?
Well, I can't remember the exact year. It wasn't the year he hit 60 home runs. I think that was 51.
Yeah,
Uh,
the 52 mantle's the one that is like the $1 million card.
yeah, it wasn't that one, but all of his cards. Okay,
Oh
it
yeah.
doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean there's that huge, hugely valuable one, but I just had a basic Mickey Mantle card, and it had gone up in price so fast when I was in college. I sold it, but that was in the early 1980s.
If I
If I had just kept it in my drawer, and looked at it today, I'd be sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, I have a similar story, and it wasn't actually too long ago on some cards. So yeah, I know the feeling. We'll put
Well, that's why
it.
I love this new program, Lance, and I'll leave it at that. Where we're collecting cash, we get in and out by the end of the week, and our work is done, and we move on to the next week. And over time, if you can put a few $100s in your pocket with these
Oh yeah.
trades, boy, with inflation running amok right now, especially in gasoline, everybody could use a few shekels, as I like to say.
Yes. Christian, yeah, you posted the wrong link. You did some uh Alex live demo.
I just got it fixed.
All right, let me see.
That was my fault.
Okay, yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah, it's the 2 Sigma. That's the correct one. Sorry about that, gang. All right, we got it fixed there
Yeah,
for
and
you.
if you, I give a lot of great trading ideas on my Telegram channel, so
Yeah,
appreciate the shout out there, Lance.
I think once they sign up for this JD, it takes them to that. I want to say.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let me just make sure. I'm going to sign up now. Boom, 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 boom. Very. Oh, look at that.
Ah,
Look at that,
look at
huh?
that. Who is that handsome guy?
Look at wearing the suit and all. I think all I wear is a Costco Florida Man shirt 24/7. All
I,
right,
you
and then you
know,
can view it on
I
Telegram.
old habits die hard. It's not a suit. It was a sport coat.
All right. Thank you, JD, so much. We'll see you, I think, next week or so. You're going to come back. So we'll follow up with you with these Sigma alerts here in a
Hey,
couple days. Or
appreciate it and really appreciate all that you do. And if I can say to your followers, my goodness, I am, just watching Lance from afar, and you do amazing work, my friend.
thank you so much. I appreciate that, JD. And I'm looking forward to some of your work over these next couple of weeks together, and we'll learn more, not only about the Sigma alerts, but more stuff you have cooking up your sleeve. So looking forward to that, JD. Thank
Okay,
you
thank you
again
guys.
so much. And if you click the link in the chat, it will take you to JD's sign up page and his Telegram channel. Now, really quick as well, I think they have a class lined up in a little bit. I do want to go over a couple of things in the Stonkomania here, just because I think I said in the morning video I was going to give you guys some goodies, but this was not a goodie planned. But check out this stock, PTRN. It just came across and it's seen 34 times usual volume. That's PTRN. I've never heard of it before. That is why I love it. And if you look at the volume in this bad boy, so they bought these calls at 117. Look what has happened to the stock. It's a $12 name and it is ripping here. The options were about a buck 15. Now they're a buck 35. So they have moved a little bit for full transparency. But that is one of the biggest volume moves compared to its normal volume I've seen. And what I mean by that is, let's actually pull up the data. It's 34 times the average call volume, meaning there's been one trade on the stock, and it is this trader. 100% of the flow is bullish, 150,000 share equivalent. So think about that for a minute. 150,000 shares. This one trader is making up on the stock. This is why the stock went up after they bought these. The stock has only traded 450,000 shares. This trader is making up all of the option volume, literally all of it. It's traded 3 puts, all the calls from them, just about. And it's making up about a quarter of its stock volume just from this order. Just from this one order. So what happens is if someone's controlling, think about that. If you control the quarter of the stock, what's going to happen? It's going to go up. That's why as soon as the order hit, look what happened to the stock. Look what happened. So it went from trading the minute prior 600 shares to 23,000 shares. From 600 shares to 23,000 shares. It was trading 100 shares, 300 shares, 369 shares to 23,000 shares. This has such a major impact on the stock that it has to go up. Market makers who sold those call options have to buy the stock to hedge. So that is very, 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 very unique of an order. And that's why it's up so much or rallying so much after they whacked it. There's also one other stock out there. This is the one I wanted to give this morning. If you're an old G, you already know, but it came across again. My old G's know this, but it came across again yesterday. GFS is back. Now, I bought this stock earlier in the year and it rallied 25% before I sold it. So the GFS trader is back. They are back 200 and 7 times average call volume. The average call volume is 9. It traded over 1,800 contracts. This was yesterday. Today, the stock is up almost 3%. You guys saw what happened last time these hit. The stock had a massive rally. So the GFS trader is back with an impact. 207 times average call volume. Take that information and do what you want with it. I know what I did. And the call options are already up 23% already. So 23% overnight. Pretty massive out there. All right, that's it. Christian, you're going to give us the warped option class we did yesterday. You're going to run a replay of it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
All right, warped option members, we had 2 brand new trade alerts just go out. If you want to get involved in warped options, stay around and watch the presentation. And you can have a chance to get signed up for a 50% discount off the normal retail price. Diamond Club members, give me about a week, maybe 2 weeks max, and you will be getting my AI order flow scanner. So you can start using it. We are wrapping up the finishing touches today on it. So I'm very happy. It was with the developers this morning. Christian, take it away.
Alrighty, guys, we are just waiting for the link to Warped Options. If you would just give me a couple of minutes here. And by the way, guys, just before we get started, we did send out 2 trade alerts already for our Warped Options members, and it's in your Warped Options one-click trading portal right now, so you're able to go in there and get in on those 2 trades that we just put on. We had a masterclass at 1 o'clock, so we did a couple of trades in there, and they're in your members area. But if you don't have warped options and you are wanting to sign up and get those 2 trade alerts for this week, we're going to run a class on it, and then I'll throw some links in the chat and you guys will be able to sign up. Or if you want to, you can call 904-706-3539 and get signed up now. RBH, it was GFS. GFS. Here's the video. Give me 1 second, guys, to get everything pulled up. Shay, quick flip. We should be able to. We had our put on Snap that did 25% earlier in the week, but we'll probably get another play in for a quick flip this week as well. I just want to see how the market calms down and digests this news that we've been seeing. Let's see if this works here. How we are actually running a discount on Warped Options, and we have a special surprise for you actually that you won't start paying until we hit our first win. So hopefully our first win can pay for your whole service. So more on that in just a second. Let me get my screen shared here. And a reminder, I will be in the background. So if you guys need anything or have any questions, I'll be in the background and you'll be able to ask me anything you need.
And here's the disclaimer, Christian, make sure you cut the YT here. Let's be real in trading. There is risk.
since December 10th, 2024, the trading approach discussed today have published 62 trade alerts. Of these 62, 44 have returned as winning trades, with 18 for losers, with a 71% win rate. The average return per trade, wins and losses combined, is 17.5% over a hold period of 5 days, with an average winner worth of 53.73%. Basically, again, full transparency, we aim for a 50% profit target. Every trade you see will be based on 2,500 starting stake unless otherwise noted, and each one targets roughly 1,250 in return. So you put 200 bucks in, you're looking for 100 bucks. You put 1,000 bucks, you'd be looking at 500 bucks. So it's all set predetermined since we have automated exits. All trading involves risks. We cannot guarantee the future or promote losses. You should never ever risk more than you can afford to lose in the markets. And of course, let's make sure we're on the same page. Our goal is to help give you an edge in the stock market, one that you can use to try and find success that eludes so many traders, we believe. This strategy could offer that exact kind of edge. With that said, all trading approaches eventually suffer losses. There is no entering the market without a risk of loss. And if you cannot afford or stomach losing money in the markets, please turn this broadcast off and don't trade with real money. All right, they gave me a real long disclaimer today. Woohoo. That is me, Lance Ippolito, wearing the same shirt in every picture and the same long beard that I probably didn't know I was going to take a picture, so I didn't get a haircut. I'm the chief option strategist for the Trading Pub. Really, I'm an independent trader, but you know, it sounds good, doesn't it? Frankly, in my 17 years, both professionally on Wall Street and with a major financial research firm, I thought I learned everything I needed to know about option trading. Like, I mean, it changes. Obviously, there's new options. 10 years ago, there was not weekly options or DT, zero DTE, or half the tickers weren't even around back then. But a year ago, my world turned upside down. That's because I discovered a unique way to warp my typical option setup, allowing us to target 1,250 with each and every trade without ever having to time an exit or manually close the trade. Yes, it triggers when the target is met. Thank you. Thank you. Let me say that again. Unlike other income methods that target a few $100 if you're lucky. Was that a diss on the 4 p.m. payout plan? Actually, I think this came out before the 4 p.m. payout plan. Very, we get good cushions, especially right now. And you don't have to stare at the charts looking for pinpoint entries and exits, which is good because we all know things move quick right now. With these trades, you can target 1,250 every single week, then slam the laptop shut, knowing the trade will pay automatically if everything works out. It happened in JP Morgan, the bank, back in April, or actually approaching April. Our entry came right here. A few days later, the stock fell off a cliff. Oh no. With normal options, that would be a loss, right? You ever bought, let's say S&P calls and the next day stock went down and they were at zero, right? Oh no. 2,500 in the trade would have gone down the drain. But with this new technique we're here to show you, we automatically hit the target right here. So we don't need really anything too crazy, thankfully, for the trade to work out. Usually like two. Usually two. I mean, you could do more if you want, but we usually put two on the via text, email, and Telegram, of course. And for folks, let's say you started off with $2,500, that could have been a $1,250 payday in 2 days on JP Morgan. Imagine that, targeting 1,250 each and every week and not sitting in front of the computer sweating your trade. That means you could hit the golf course. I don't play golf, but whoever wrote this did a nice, beautiful background picture. Grab an early lunch with friends. I ate lunch today at Cava. Felt very Mediterranean. Catch a movie with a girl with a nice sweater and some popcorn. All while the trade was working for you in the background, targeting 1,250 without you constantly looking down at your phone. My girlfriend hates when I look at my phone when I'm, if we are doing something during the day and I have positions on, she hates it. See, it happened again the very next trade on DraftKings. Our signal came right here. And for the first few days, the charts looked great. But then it suddenly plummeted from there. Have you ever been there before? Of course. Well, that's the beauty of this new way to warp trades, because our trade actually closed automatically right here, giving folks another shot at a cool 1,250 in the account. Now, delivering big payday opportunities to my followers in a matter of days really isn't anything new for me. You can hear directly from some of the top followers across the services over the year, like Mark, who made 500% on the PayPal. Dave, very good in Carvana, 983 bucks. Danny in the UK, I'm up 1,500%. Good Lord. I don't know what they're drinking in the UK. 250% profit. Garrett, 100% on Archer. Marky Mark, the man, the myth, the legend, up 20% on Oklo. Now, each of those trades required careful monitoring, precise entries, and pinpoint exits. But this new approach is entirely different and a major improvement for anyone who can't sit all day at a trading desk. Because this isn't about finding a perfect opportunity or getting out of a breakout at exactly the right time. By the way, in Slumberjay, I will admit, we got out at a really, really good time today. I mean, it was precise, pinpoint, which does not happen every day. This is about targeting 1250 every week by turning the trade itself into your own hands-free secret weapon. By exiting automatically and avoiding any chaos that comes after. Look back at the trade we did in UUU, it's a clean energy stock. The stock bounced around, it would have been hard to pick an exit. But holding would have been a mistake. The stock went lower. But folks could have already been counting their winnings because our target hit right here, meaning the trade closed automatically. So folks could have had another $1,250 payday. Again, that's starting with $2,500. And over again, when the trades hit our target, anyone following along was able to collect $1,250 without lifting another finger. But unlike many all or nothing approach to options, this trade gives us incredible flexibility. So sometimes, even when the market goes crazy, and let's say we don't hit our target, $1,250, we can still have a shot at some nice paydays. $800 in XLV, $875 in CVS, and a $1,141 overnight win in SQQ. Basically, that's the inverse NASDAQ. And sometimes when things align just perfectly, anyone following along could have collected huge windfalls from major news. Like we did in the VIX, over $3,130 in 3 days, $4,250 in Alibaba. Between those two massive windfalls, that was over $7,387. No stressing about the perfect entries or no timing, the precise exits. None of that exhausting work that makes most folks lose patience or worse, lose money. And that's what makes this unique setup unlike anything else we've ever seen. And over the next 30 or so minutes, we're going to show you exactly how to start weaponizing these trades in your own account this very week. Not only that, but we're also going to reveal just why this breakthrough sparked complete 180 on my trading approach. And we're also going to show you how anyone can target at 1250 on any stock. If you want to do more or less, you can, obviously. And how you can use this method to trade stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon for pennies on the dollar. And even this, how the sweat-free approach has the power to collect those kind of paydays without monitoring trades on the computer all day long. And if you don't know, I'm Lance Saputo. Over about 17 years ago, I started trading and traded for a hedge fund in Florida for about 30 million was my book. Then I got headhunted by the trading pub. It was either here or one of the other big pubs, whoever basically paid me the most money. Just being honest. Or go to New York and, get too much taxes over there. And as a result, I've been invited to speak, teach, and trade around the world. It's pretty cool. It was just at the NYSE a couple months ago in New York, and I froze my Florida tail off. It's like 14 degrees. I've spoken at the Money Show in Vegas twice, which is much better. Big Vegas fan. Hopefully be back there soon this year. And been featured on the television a few times. I even won a live trading contest. And in fact, I built such a track record. My publisher, who has personally worked with hundreds of trading experts, called me the best directional trader he's ever seen. Publisher Nate is young, though. He hasn't been around the block too many times. But as nice as that is to have earned the respect from my peers, I'm much prouder of the flood of success stories we found from some of y'all. Hey, Chris in Hawaii. He's actually in the chat today. Love the Warby Allen play. Glass company. Still holding some stock, up 2,005%. Good Lord. Michael made a cool 10K the morning on EV calls. That's GE. I still remember this one. Chasing. I made like 6,000 on this, and the rat bastard, in a good way, made 74,000 on the Onion. Those are the on cloud shoes. Actually, just bought a pair for like $150. That's good, but it's huge. Dieter did very well. Turned 900 to 4,500. Faith, in 2 days, I'm up 16K, and then wrote a nice message. Darren up 70,000. Trading light. Trading light. Way to rub it in. Now, as proud as that is, I think my followers will be blown away by what I'm going to reveal. Because not only does it go against pretty much everything I've been taught about the markets, it also lets them target better results with less work than ever before. But first, let me say this. If you're tuning in right now and feeling burnt out and hopeless about the markets, trading, investing, I get it. Lately, the markets feel like a constant battle, up one day, down the next. And that makes your job as a trader even harder. See, in my experience, most traders don't actually struggle when to enter trades. The real struggle is managing the trades. I mean, that is the biggest struggle is in the position, time in the position, the management, because your emotions get involved. You ride the highs and the lows, not getting greedy, but not exiting too early. And worst of all, waiting too long and seeing a position go belly up. We've all been there before. Realizing a position could be a nice winner and then, no, it just drops out of the blue and becomes a loss. And while that problem has always existed, it only gets worse when the markets look the way they are right now. But what if we could largely eliminate that problem and remove all the second guessing with just one small tweak before you place a trade? That's exactly what we're trying to do with these warped options. Because just by changing how we set up the trade, we can eliminate the nagging need to monitor the market or time our exit again. Let me show you an example in Softy, Microsoft. We entered the trade, the stock went higher. Now, it could have been tempting to hold longer and go for bigger gains, right? It was working out. But that would have been a mistake because then Microsoft actually sold off pretty hard below our entry. And let's say we did a normal trade, that could have resulted in a nasty loser. But that didn't happen to anyone using the warp option. No, they didn't have to time their exit. In fact, they wouldn't have to watch the trade at all if they didn't want to, because as soon as the stock hit our target here, our trade closed automatically. It was done. So by the time Microsoft sold off, we already had a shot at that $1,250 payday. And we can move on to the next opportunity. Now, of course, it's good time to remind you, nothing is guaranteed in markets, but I'm proud of our track record because the losses can and will happen, so never risk more than afford to lose. But unlike other approaches that chase tiny returns in order to keep a high win rate, when things work out right for us, we can still hit massive winners, like in Nike back in May. We hit this moonshot, and we weren't limited to 5 or 10% return. Anyone following along could have collected 131% in just 4 days. Our average hold time is about a week, which was over $3,291. Now, to put that in perspective, that's 2 trades, a little over $4,000 total, thanks to this unique setup. And these warped options could not come at a better time for most folks. Think about it. Since the pandemic, inflation has gotten out of control. Housing costs have shot through the roof, and the grocery bill somehow seems to have magically doubled over the last few years. There's no real debate here. A lot of people are feeling financially squeezed right now and in desperate need of some extra cash. Now, of course, I'm not promising overnight riches with warped options. That's not what today's class is about. But an extra $4,541 could have gone a long way. Maybe pay down the credit card or save up for the next vacation or maybe plan for an emergency. Fun. And if you ask me, the best part is whether you're working 9 to 5 or maybe you're stay at home, mom, dad, cat dad, like me, or retired, making the most out of it, like this guy with beautiful flowers. Must have just got them fresh. These warped options could fit right into your schedule. No hand holding or intense monitoring required. Now, the truth is, I haven't always traded this way. In fact, I built my reputation with traditional directional options. All those all or nothing approach. Big money plays got me recognized around the world, like here on Cheddar TV. And quite frankly, I thought we were, that was it. That was, the end all be all. And it was the only type of option I'd ever need to use. But as the markets have shifted, right, when I was younger, 2021 and so, you had the crazy bull market, and before that, I mean, it was like everything was going up. Not today. Markets have shifted. It becomes harder for everyday folks to follow these kind of setups. First, you need a method to track them. Then you usually need a lot of money, let's be honest. And that's all before you account for the markets. The swing up, down, almost at random, it feels like. I mean, we've all experienced that. And it's a lot to stay on top of, especially if you don't have the time to sit in front of the computer all day long. I knew this was a problem for my followers, but I didn't have an obvious solution. I didn't. I was like, oh man. People said, hey, Lance, I can't trade full time. I was like, well, don't trade. That's what I would tell to people a few years ago. Until I had a breakthrough in the most unexpected way I can imagine. Our publisher, the guy I mentioned earlier who called me the best directional trader he met, came up with a challenge. He challenged me to warp the traditional option approaches I have been using throughout my career, an entirely new form of trading. Now, at first, I said, there is not a chance in hell. I think I said it just like that. Hell no, brother. But when he showed me the numbers, my eyes were open and my mind was changed. I am a numbers guy, I'm not going to lie. Heck, I'm betting on what Trump will say on Kalshi at the DHS thing. I do probability and math for everything. Because just by warping each option setup in the way I'll reveal shortly, not only did folks have a shot to cash in on some big moves, that has been my bread and butter, but now I could also show folks how to target 1250 in the markets without those mega moves and without even managing their trades. And on top of that, we were now able to trade the biggest and most expensive stocks out there. So that was always a big problem too. I would always say, oh, I can't afford it, or like, oh my God, it's so expensive. I can't trade AMD or Micron. But now I can. Names like Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, that could cost thousands per trade for pennies on the dollar, like we spotted in Citigroup. Citigroup, you go out, it's going to probably cost you $500, $600, $700, $800 a contract to trade. But with a warped option, it just costs $50. So anyone could have placed a trade here. The stock kind of just slowly drifted higher, nothing crazy. And since everything worked out, check back to their convenience to see the trade automatically close. That was a $1,250 win in Citigroup while the stock kind of just drifted up slowly for the past 6 days. Then we did on Hood. Robinhood was one of the hottest stocks of the market back then. Now it's cooled off a little bit, but it only cost $168. So nobody would have been priced out of this warped option, and they could have watched it slowly ramp higher. Until right now, when the trade itself would have done all the work for you. That's what's super cool. It's a hands-free approach for a $1,250 winner. Anyone who took both those trades, which happened back to back, could have doubled their investment in 12 days, enough to turn $500 into $1,000, or 1,000 to 2,000, or 2,500 to 5,000, or 5,000 to 10,000 in less than 2 weeks. Of course, not every trade is going to be that successful. Losses, break-evens do happen along the way, but we target the same $1,250 return each and every time we enter the trade. And thanks to these warped option setups, anyone could have done on just 2 consecutive trades. There was no complicated planning, no boring stock reports, or no late night research. With these warped options, the trade itself is designed to do all the heavy lifting for us. Now you're probably wondering, how is this possible? Well, I'm going to reveal that secret. But you should know, I'm not talking about a unique way to spot trade opportunities or a special approach to find the next hot breakout penny stock, nothing like that. What we're doing with warped options is actually much simpler. Because unlike pretty much every other approach, which requires extensive market analysis, they look at moving averages, they look at sector rotation and sector strength, all that stuff. No, none of that. The magic of this phenomenon lies in the trade itself. Because this repeatable income opportunity, each one targeting around $1,250 per trade, are thanks to a unique way, and this is very, very important, to warp some of the most popular option opportunities out there. I'm actually going to send this to a buddy because with the way you warp the trade is you limit your risk, because you want to do that now. Most people, day traders, lose money. The CME group found that 70% of options lose money by expiration. But by simply warping those options in a way I'm about to show you, we can actually flip the odds in their head. So you want to trade like the market maker, right? You want to be on the other side. So instead of losing 70% of the time, these warped options have actually won over 70% of the time. And one of the reasons we've maintained a high win rate is because with warped options, we barely need the stock to move to hit our target. For example, check out another trade we did on DraftKings. We warped our options here. Then DraftKings, even though it had a big down day, kind of grinded up, then started to go lower. But our target triggered right here. Well, even when the stock was red, you might be saying, huh? It had a red candle and it targeted, your profit was triggered? You hit your target? Meaning, our trade closed on autopilot, automatically executed. That's the beauty. And we have a shot at another $1,272 in profits. Now, the magic of these warp option lies in the target we set. So this is very, very key. Every time we place a warp option trade, we create a warp zone. And if the price of the stock tiptoes into the warp zone for even a few seconds before the trade expires, it closes out automatically and can drop another $1,250 payday into the account. It happened in the healthcare company Oscar. Anyone could have placed the trade here. It takes a few minutes, well, maybe a minute. And here's our warp zone in the green. Now that means as long as the stock drifts, touches, bing, to the warp zone for a moment, like it did here, the trade closes without anything else. We don't have to rush the computer. It automatically closes. So it doesn't matter what the stock does. It goes up, down, sideways, who cares? You're free and clear. Another $1,250 payday. Now, because of the warp zone, these trades close immediately without us breaking the sweat. We don't have to do any other legwork. And I mean, as soon as the stock crosses into the warp zone, that's it. We get paid. Whether that's a week after we take the trade or a few days, or average hold time, to be fair, is about 4 to 6 days, about a week. Like with our next trade in Unity Software, ticker U. This time our warp zone was a little bit more conservative. So when the stock climbed higher, we saw that Unity hit our warp zone, and we don't have to look at it. We don't have to see it. You know why? Because it automatically closed. Boom. Got the exit alert from the broker. Trade is closed. Get the profits, and doesn't matter what the stock does. Go up, down, sideways, doesn't matter. And that was a cool $1,000 payday in 24 hours. Now, overnight, not day trades, overnight trades. So they're all overnights. They take anywhere between about 1 to 6 days, with the average hold time about 4 to 6 days. Now, with other trades, you might be sitting around waiting for the perfect opportunity to get in. But with each warped option, the trade itself is our secret weapon. So we don't need the perfect entries. It's our golden opportunity. So we can do it week after week after week. And we usually do at least 2 per week, sometimes more. Knowing that as long as the stock hits our warp zone, we should be set with another quick, straightforward, hands-free payday. We entered the trade in super micro computers the following week. Now, we knew that as long as it hit the warp zone, and this was a little bit higher, as you can see, we were good. Now, this stock's a little bit more volatile, so we want to limit our risk and do a little bit more conservative. So the next day, Supermicro actually crossed into the warp zone. Cool. That's it. Trade's over. We don't have to babysit it. We don't have to time or exit. We don't have to second guess. Should we hold out for more? Should we try to get more money? Nope, we didn't have to do anything. It automatically closed that morning, and we grabbed another $1,250. Now, let me put that in perspective for you really quick. Last year, the S&P 500 grew actually just shy of 17%. We closed, and that's a way better than average return for the market. Around 7 to 9% is about average. 2,500 to the S&P would have made you $410 in profit, but 2,500 into the trade I just showed you would have gave you $1,250 in profit, and that was overnight. That's 3 times better than the S&P did all of last year. Imagine that, turning the lights out for one night and waking up with 3 years worth of S&P returns under the pillow. That's just one trade. With the 3 trades we showed you back to back to back, that was over 3,500 in a month. That was very nice. That's without compounding or reinvesting those 3 trades. Meanwhile, you get the same return on the S&P 500. You would have had to invest 2,500 into it all the way back in 2019. So you would have had a time machine to 2019. Now, we don't have time machines. We can't go back in time and invest, but I hope you're starting to see how powerful these warp options can be. In fact, I never found any other approach that it could be just as capable with limited risk, because we do have a high win rate, over 70%. We have low entry trades, each one less than $200, most around 50 to 75 bucks, and a shot to target at least 1,250 with every trade. Managing, we don't have to do. Closing, we don't have to do. Everything's completely hands-free. Today, you've seen over and over again how these warped options work. And we showed you a flood of real trade examples you could have grabbed. And we have seen people be able to get a part of. Now, you might think that these trades are easy and that anyone can do them. The truth is, yeah, you're right. Anyone can, but you can't go blindly picking the trades. The trick is knowing which trades to place, and more importantly, how to set them up. And fortunately, I got you covered there. In fact, I'm going to show you what you need to know to deploy your very first warped option trade this week, so that anyone can start targeting 1,250 every week without ever planning an exit or even closing the trade. Actually, I got a little spoiler. We're actually going to do this together live tomorrow. So if you're new and you want to see how to do it, I'm actually going to teach you and do it with you live tomorrow. If you're a member, of course. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, rookie, veteran, whether you big account, small account, retirement account, regular broker account, that's fine. Everyone is welcome to get started today. So we'll be hosting a live workshop to show exactly how you can start doing this with a few clicks of the mouse. And actually, not 3 p.m. We're going to do it tomorrow at 1 p.m. So 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We're going to meet for the live trade masterclass. We'll cover the full details, how to place your first trade, how to do it automatically so it's set or you don't have to monitor it, and you can start using this technique in your account today. Each of these trades will follow the same setup you've seen demonstrated today. So it's the same approach. Obviously, we'll be doing different tickers. Now, typically, a class like this would sell for $497 on its own, but today we're going to give it to you a chance to claim it free. So we're going to give you a chance to claim it for free. Once you catch up on the class, you'll be shocked how clear-cut these weekly warp option setups really are. You'll immediately be able to start using them week after week if you want to. And after a few click of the buttons, you'll be ready to go. That's it. That's all there really is to it. Just like we did in Oracle. We set up the trade on Wednesday, just like we're going to do tomorrow. Then we kick back and relax. A few days later, boom. Since the trade hit the target, closed automatically. We didn't have to do anything else and had a nice $1,254 payday. A few days later, we do these each and every week, to be fair. when folks could have done it again, followed the same process. This was in the AI stock, NBIS. They actually just signed a deal with I believe it was it Microsoft or Facebook? I think they have deals with both actually. A couple of days later, we let the trade do its thing, and it hit the warp zone, hands free, $1,254. Now remember, any broker account will do the trick. You can utilize these warped options in a 401k, IRA, or even a regular broker account. Schwab, Fidelity, Tasty Trade, Interactive Brokers, Robinhood, Webull, TradeStation, all fine. If you want to see just how powerful these warped options are with your own eyes, in our class, we'll be placing these live together. Walk you through it step by step. I'm a visual learner, so I do love screen sharing to target that same $1,250 payout. That way you can follow along, watch over our shoulder, ask questions, heck, copy and paste it. And today, for folks out there, they can claim access to this workshop so they can start implementing this unique strategy in their accounts. It's the perfect time to do it, especially when volatility is high. Just by subscribing to my premium weekly income service called Warped Option Alerts. It's the only program where anyone can target $1,250 every week without ever planning an exit or even closing the trade. Each week, you'll receive at least one warped option alert straight to your email, text, telegram. We do two. We don't do one per week, just a spoiler. We do at least two. And step-by-step instructions so that you can do it. And we actually send you a screenshot too, so you know exactly what you're doing. Just like we did in Google. You would install the ticker, the exact instructions, the price. We actually show you a calculator too, screenshot it all, so you're good to go. And you could enter the trade. You would have known preset what the warp zone was. And when Google went higher, you can see it actually went over the warp zone. You don't have to do anything. Claimed $1,250. Now, that does not mean we have to babysit our trades for hours. In fact, we don't have to watch it at all because each and every trade alert will come with a hands-free exit plan. It's a simple, straightforward process to set up our warp zone and make sure the trade closes immediately when it crosses the target. So when we got our next setup in JP Morgan, JPM, anyone could have followed the same 30-second process that folks follow each and every week. Once you get it, you'll be good to go. Real easy to pick up. You'd be in the trade, and that's why I'm so excited. We're going to do it tomorrow together because we can learn step by step. Then you'll have the warp zone set. Then do whatever you want. It's the only time you need to be on the computer. It's just placing it. Then the rest of the week, you don't have to do anything. Maybe more times fishing. I was actually fishing on the lake a couple of days ago, and I had about a 7-pound bass, and I'm reviving it in the water. And I got blown into a tree, and I got poison ivy all over me. It was a fun night. I took an oatmeal bath and took Benadryl. Or more time for new experiences. Hey, look, there's what's his name? Einstein of Wall Street. It's entirely up to you because wherever you are, whatever you're doing, the warp option is doing all the heavy lifting for you. So when the trade crossed into our warp zone, a couple days later, we were good to go, $1,250. So if you want to start with $500, you can. You want to start with $5,000, you can. Totally up to you. Between those two trades back to back, that was what, 2,500 total. 2,500. It's a good chunk of money nowadays, right? Could be going to maybe beaches here, real popular spring break right now. Planning a vacation. My girlfriend wants to go to St. Augustine. I told her it's the most haunted city in the world, and she goes, "That's what you said about Savannah, Georgia." And I go, "Well, that's what they say about all the haunted cities. They're all the most haunted in the world." And those are great choices. It's amazing to have extra funds to make good choices. Of course, we'll be keeping our track record, the automated options performance, so you can easily track the trades. And again, those are the last two trades we saw, 2,500 extra income. Maybe you doubled it. That would have been 5,000 if you were trading a little bit bigger. And we're not playing coulda, woulda, shoulda of hindsight. These were real live trades issued in real time to real people. It's not like missing the boat on NVIDIA back in the day. We're not about that. We're talking about the present and what we can do going forward. And as a member of the Warp Option Alerts, you'll instantly unlock at least 50 or more trade alerts that will come out week after week. More like 100, but okay. So you're probably wondering, how much will this cost, right? $2,500? No, hold your horses. Giddy up. Because we built a special offer to make it feel like you're getting a whole Warp Option Alert membership for free. Wait, for free? What is going on? All right, I don't even know about that. What's going on, gang? All right, I'm curious. I know it's not free, but I'm curious what they're going to say. Because before we talk about price, I do want to highlight a few of the biggest benefits of being a Warp Option member. See, as a reminder, every result you've seen today happened in real-time trade alerts. And we never talked about compounding or reinvesting because we wanted to show you what the warp options are capable at the most basic level. But when you get into the live markets targeting 1250 in real cash every single week, I think you'll want to scale your gains, right? If things work out as quickly as possible, I want to help. That's what markets and investing is about scaling. So we're going to include the warped option compounding blueprint. Now you might be asking why a guide like this could be one of the most valuable pieces of the entire membership. And it's not because I'm just focused on one $1,250 payout this week with warped options, but I believe this is a long-term scalable strategy. So I want you to understand how to scale it. And this guide walks you through multiple account growing techniques to use with warped options. And we included this free with the warped option alert membership. And don't forget, you don't have to wonder about how to get started with our next trade because we'll be doing that with you, live members, tomorrow. We'll be doing it all together in our masterclass. And don't forget, you don't have to wonder about how to get started with our next trade because you'll be good to go. We'll be doing it tomorrow together. You just need a standard broker account, or you can do it in a retirement account. 401k is totally fine. Just the internet, or heck, on your cell phone, you could do it even. And it just takes a few minutes to set up the trade before the end of the week, meaning your very first chance to target 1250 in hands-free cash will be coming as this week. So how on earth does one put a price tag on it? I have no idea. I really don't. I don't even know what they're selling it for, or I don't even know the promotion today. So I'm curious if they're going to sell it. Well, it's out 3,500. You can get everything for 2,500. But for folks watching this webinar right now, you'll get an even better deal. Okay, let's see what it is. Because we've had a phenomenal value at 2,500, but people need warped option alerts more now than ever. I always tell the team, VIX over 20, volatility picks up, you need to do this. So I'm very happy they're giving me the chance to offer it today. This chart shows the steep drop-off in employment in the US in 2022. And you can probably tell by now, alarm bells should be ringing. Experts say this is the #1 sign of a looming recession. Now, me, I don't know. I mean, recession, depression, don't matter. At the end of the day, I'll still be doing, whether the VIX is 50, 20, 17, 35, still be doing this because I know what I'll be doing. I'll be using the warped option alerts to target 1,250 in extra income every single week, rain or sunshine. And I want you to trade them right along with me, which is why I want you joining warped option alerts to feel like it's one of the easiest decisions you can ever make. So I've cooked up not one, but 2 bonuses to give everyone a shot to pay off their membership. Ooh, really? Let's hear what they are. The warped option webinar discount, because you've joined me for the special time-sensitive webinar, and it is because, like I said, we're going to be doing it tomorrow in our master classes tomorrow. I'm inviting you to claim a special discount. Let's see how much it is. Maybe $500, maybe $750. You won't pay $2,500. All right, well, in fact, you'll get the complete access for half off. So $1,250? I guess so. Today, we've shown you time and time again how to target these warped options. Oh, look at that. For an extra $1,250 in income, each setup. So when you join today, right here in this room, you'll get complete access to warped option alerts for only $1,250. Hey, good job, team. 50% off. I like it. And if that's not good enough, I have one final bonus. Oh, I do. Let's see what it is. They don't tell me this stuff ahead of time, so let's hear it. I want this membership to feel like it doesn't cost you a dime. As a matter of fact, I want you to have completely paid off before the second trade ever goes out. Oh, good Lord. Well, I was planning on doing 2 trades tomorrow, but let's see what they say. Just being honest. Knowing that every dollar you make on top of that initial investment is gravy. So we have a $1,250 first trade scholarship. This week, I'll be hosting a live trade room tomorrow, where I'll walk you through the details of the warped options, place the next live warped option trade on camera, targeting $1,250, enough to cover the membership fee. And you'll be able to look over my shoulder and follow along step by step. Now, of course, I can't promise future returns against losses, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to start your subscription timer until the model portfolio shows at least $1,250 in profit. Well, that means if we do 2 trades tomorrow, that's actually up to $2,500. That means your subscription won't start ticking until the membership is 100% paid off according to the live trade tracker first. But let me be clear, this is the limited time special. There's no time to hesitate. So if you're ready to take action and put this week's warped option trade to work for you, then go to lancippolito.com/warp or click the link in the chat. That's lancippolito.com/warp. If you want to call one of my friendly team members in Florida, give a call to 904-706-3539 to talk to our team. If you want to order by phone, call 904-706-3539. The team is trained to not only answer your questions about warped options, make it too. It will be recorded. Our master class 9:04.
Ready, guys. It looks like we lost some sound there, but we got through everything that we needed to get through. Our video is acting up a little bit. But yeah, like Lance was saying, if you want to go ahead and get signed up for Warped Options, we're running a discount today for $12.50, which is half off. It's a little webinar discount that we're doing. We posted 2 trades today at 1 o'clock, and I believe they are still good to go. So if you become a member today and sign up today using lancepolito.com/warp or calling 904-706-3539, you're able to get into the members area and grab those 2 trade alerts for today, for this week, really. Maureen looks like she got in on the 2 trades today. Good. But yes, we are running a discount, only $12.50 for your first trade, and we're not going to be starting your discount until the trade tracker shows at least $12.50 in profit. So hopefully you can pay for your subscription cost in the first trade. Now, if you need a little bit more information on that and the pricing that kind of goes behind that, you can call that number 904-706-3539 and they'll get you situated. But yes, that is it. We are running out of time here. We have to make room for our next episode. I'm sorry, our next show. So if you do have any questions, let me know in the chat and I can answer those for you. But if we don't have any questions, I'll go ahead and shut it down here. I'll wait a couple of minutes as I try to get my computer charging again. Ready, there we go. What is the average loss? Any risk management, or you let it expire worthless? Great, great question, Maria. Let me pull up the trade tracker real quick so I can give you accurate numbers here. Give me 1 second. So we started this service back in, I believe, last year. Yep, last year, 2024, 2 years ago. We have 45 winners, 18 losers, which is a 71.4% win rate. Average gain on those options is 53%. And the average return on losers and winners is 17.5% with a profit factor of 1.87, meaning that we make about $187 for every $100 that we lose. So there's the math right there. Again, the average return on options, both winners and losers, is 17.5%, Maria. And on risk management, we usually try to get at, if it doesn't go our way, we usually try to get out at around 50% or so. But what I always tell people is don't put up more than what you're willing to risk on any trade. Meaning, if your max risk for your portfolio is $500 for any one position, then only use $500, and that's the amount of money that you're risking and putting out on the table. Good question. Again, I will post the link in the chat. But thank you everyone for showing up for Sonkomania. We have the closing playbook coming on after this at 3:30. So I'm going to go ahead and get the room all ready for that. And if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll leave the chat open for a little bit longer. But we're going to go ahead and shut it down here. How there is a guarantee, 14-day money back guarantee. So within the first 14 days, that is not the first 14 trading days, that's 14 days, calendar days. And if you try it out for 2 weeks and you decide it's not really for you, then you can call us back and we will refund you all of your money if it's within that 14-day money back guarantee period. So you do have a guarantee and that's 14 days. Good question, Hal. We usually sell warped options for $2,500. Um, but as I said, we're doing a half off discount today for $1,250. So really good discount that the team hooked us up with. So hoping you take advantage of it. And but yeah, this has been Stonkomania, and we will see everybody again tomorrow. Hold time for trades, usually about a week, 4 to 6 days. And those are calendar days, so 4 to 6 days is how long we usually hold them for. Yes, Maria. Alrighty, guys, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down here. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back again live at 1:30 tomorrow for Stonkomania. See you guys later.